All right, so this is my first attempt at making the color tapioca pearl. I'm gonna follow the directions. I've got my water boiling and I've got them in the cup, as you can see. Whoops. They remind me of Fruity Pebbles. So yeah, let's follow the directions and we'll do a taste test and we'll see how they come out. Water's starting to boil. Okay, just put them in the boiling water. It says to stir it slightly, giving it a stir. And then the directions say to wait till the tapioca floats to the water surface and then surface. Oh, which that's happening really quick. Look at that. So cool. Okay, so here is the completed tapioca, colorful tapioca balls, which I'm going to try. Put a little sugar on them. And right now, I am making fire noodles, gourmet spicy noodles. Got about a minute left, and then we'll be eating. Hi guys. So, I said on my last video I wasn't going to do a cheat day. Well, I lied. So I'm doing kind of a little mukbang cheat day. You saw me cooking the noodles. I added some shrimp to them. So good. And they're spicy. Woo! Woo! Oh, they are spicy. So I wanted to do a story time with these. And a lot of people have addictions. Some people are addicted to, I'm just going to move my microphone, drugs, alcohol, smoking cigarettes. I've never had that problem. Food has always been my addiction. Whoops. But I think with food, it's always been a mental thing. Just keep you updated real quick. I have been really watching. I started officially on April 2nd, and I lost 40 pounds doing like low carb, no bread, no pasta. But I do allow myself a cheat meal or a cheat day, which if you see my other videos, which a lot of people aren't watching, but I don't care. I find this extremely therapeutic for me to talk to my camera, and if one person's out there listening and they can relate, then hey, awesome. But I grew up Italian, where food was always around a lot. We had pasta every Sunday. You know, we called it macaroni, whether it was noodled, spaghetti, penne, whatever. So we had macaroni with red sauce, which we called gravy, meatballs and sausage and lots of bread. I'm not making excuses, but I think a lot of my issues with food came from, I don't know, like a reason to self-soothe myself. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody out there. It just made me feel better to eat. I mean, yeah, in my younger day, I like to go out drinking. And I could drink But there's just something about food that made me feel better. I was brought up in a really strict household. My dad was extremely strict. He was abusive. I mean, in this day and age, yeah. If I was a kid in this day and age, and my dad did the crap he did to me, to all my siblings, he would have been behind bars. I mean, it was... We used to get beatings, like, with the belt, with the buckle end of the belt. My dad would make sure that when we got beatings, it was till we were black and blue. He felt proud to do that. He would show his friends, like after one of us got a beating, he would call his friends over and say, show them the beating you got. And I remember one of my siblings, I don't remember if it was my brother or my sister, that my dad literally had them pull their pants down to show his friends that he gave them a beating because he was in control. He was the disciplinary. And you know, back then, I'm talking years ago, like this was probably in the 70s or late 60s. So anybody that's out there that's young, yeah, it was a long time ago. But back then, his friends didn't go, oh my God, what the hell did you do to your kid? We're going to call Child Protective Services. No, they were like praising it, like, yeah, beat that child black and blue. So I always wondered, I've never been to a psychiatrist or anything like that, but I always wondered if part of my indulgence with food is partly because of some trigger from being abused. I mean, I don't know. I have a great life now. But sometimes when you're young, it's embedded. So, I don't know. I mean, he was beyond, oh, boo-hoo, you had a strict dad. No. I mean, it's really hard for me to talk about, but I mean, it's just insane, the things that my dad did, the beatings that we got. I remember being about 12 years old, and you guys are going to laugh. It's the truth. I was about 12 years old, and my dad got so angry at me. I don't know how bad can you be at 12? I wasn't that bad. He got so angry at me that he, get ready, bit my arm out of anger. He didn't break the skin, but he bit it hard enough to turn it black and blue. And I remember going to my neighbors to play, and their dad was like, what's that on your arm? Did somebody bite you? And I got so scared because I didn't want my dad to get in trouble. We always want to cover for our abusers. So I lied and said, I bit myself. I just went like, But yeah. And my dad has passed away. He passed away in, I don't remember, 87. And I harbor no ill will. I forgive him. I think you have to forgive in order to move on. Because if not, then you're kind of stuck with that. You're stuck living in that world of constantly blaming and, you know, I don't know. And my mom, she passed away in 2012, but I was very close to my mom, but I remember later, in the later years, after my dad had died, her and I would have some really heart-to-heart talks, and I told her I resented her for not protecting me from him. You know, I resented her for allowing him to treat us all that way. He wasn't abusive to my mom. For some reason, his children got the worst of it. Oh my God. Just for your info, my mouth is on fire from these noodles. They're so good, but I'm gonna regret this later. Woo! Ooh, my mouth was on fire. So this is like a real thin rice paper, and this has, I think this is just all veggie. No, it does. It has, I'm sorry, I lied. It has shrimp and veggies, and this is a chili sauce. Really good. Yeah, so like I was saying before, I resented my mom, you know, for a long time. And a few times I made her cry because she didn't want to hear about, you know, she regretted not doing things to protect us from my father's heavy hand. But she would also say, well, that's how it was back then. Like, I don't get that. Like, it was back then to allow the father of your children to beat on them? No. And I would get mad at her and be like, Mom, I don't care what freaking year it was. No. You should have stood up and been like, because I said, he was not abusive to my mother. I never remember, and my dad was not a drinker. The only thing my dad did was smoke cigarettes. He was not a drinker. And my dad very rarely cursed. I mean, if he said like the F word, he'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. So it was just, he just had this anger. He was just so angry, and little things. Oh my God, you guys, little things. Like literally you spilled a glass of milk, you got freaking smacked upside the head. It was that bad. Can you imagine? Not that I'm advocating what my dad did at all was right, but the crap that kids get away with now, could you imagine? Well, like I said, my dad would have been thrown in jail. Because I'm sure, I mean, I can't remember because it was so long ago, but I know we went to school with some bruises on us. Those teachers never reported anything. To who? I mean, I guess it had to be really bad. I mean, thank God I never broke a bone. There was never like burn marks. I mean, I don't know, guys. It's just, I know this is a messed up story time, but it happens. And I really hope there's nobody out there right now being abused by anybody. Whether it be a parent or your significant other. Domestic violence, abuse is never okay. Never, ever. And it's funny because many, 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 many years later, I met a guy who was domestically violent. But, and listen, let me just say that everybody's situation is different. So please don't take this anyway. This is my own personal experience. He was domestically violent, and I didn't know this until the first time that he did it. And it was the last time that he did it. because I almost killed him. I literally was on the phone with 911 with a knife in my hand, and I said, I'm about to kill somebody. And this was a long time ago too, over 20 years ago. And I remember the 911 operator on the phone saying to me, put the knife down. It's not worth it because you're going to go to jail. He's going to be the abuser that's going to be looked at as the victim because you stabbed him, and you're going to go to jail. She's like, put the knife down. I'm going to send the cops over, or the sheriff, or whatever. But it took one time for him to show me his true colors of physical abuse, and that was it. And that relationship ended. That was it. I was not, and like I know there's some people, you know, whether you're whatever, a man, a woman, that was so good, that are in abusive relationships and they feel like they can't get out. Well, you can. There is a way out. You can do it. I know it's easier said than done. And like I said, this was just, I'm not judging anyone. Believe me, I'm not being like, you need to do this. I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you my experience, that if you feel like you need a way out and you can't, there is a way. There is a way. So I showed you guys I was cooking this earlier. This is those tapioca. I put a little sugar over them. Let's try them. They're very squishy. Whoops, I just flung it out. It's like a fisheye. See that? They're okay. I don't think they're really worth... All right, I'll have one more spoonful. Look. I don't think they're worth like having a cheat day over. Not really. But yeah, so listen, I don't mean to talk about abuse and just be like lighthearted about it at all. I'm sorry, I have to look at my phone real quick. Okay. I meant the camera. I don't mean to be lighthearted, and I hope that there's no one out there in that situation, but I know reality of the world, that there's probably somebody out there that knows about somebody being abused or child abuse, or in a domestic relationship where the significant other is being abusive. And I mean, I don't know. I just know what I did, and I know there's a lot more resources out there than there was when I was going through it. So I hope that if this is happening to you, first of all, I am so sorry. I hope that you find the help that you need. I hope you get away from the situation. I hope and pray. Please, please try to do that. I know it's hard. I know it's easier said than done. Believe me, I know. But yeah, I don't want to, make anyone feel like they're anything less, because believe me, I know. I mean, I couldn't get away from my father. He was my father. But I did. Not because he died, because he did one time real quick. My final confrontation with him was, I was about 18 years old, and I've always worn glasses. And I remember him and I were having a conversation about something. My father did not believe that if you were a young woman, you did not move out of the house unless you were married. He thought you were a whore, a slut. I mean, you did not do that. Very strict, old-fashioned Italian. I think I was talking about, I was 18 and maybe I'd get a place with my friend. I didn't even finish the sentence. And I remember my dad hit me so hard across my face. He smacked me here. I had glasses on, and they flew off my face, but they cracked. And when they cracked, it like went into my temple, and I was bleeding. And I lost it. And I went up to him and I said, you will never hit me again. That's the last time. And you know what my dad did? He spit in my face. Well, needless to say, I didn't talk to my father for about 2 solid weeks after, until he finally said, I'm your father. You have to talk to me. And we had a nice conversation. I said, you'll never put your hands on me again. You're not going to hit me. And he never did. And he lived, I was about 21 years old when he died, and I made my peace with him. But I don't know if I could say it's different because it was my father. I mean, like I said, the boyfriend that I had that was domestically violent. The first time he did that, it was out. But that could have been because of my past, like I said before. So, yeah, again, if you're in that situation, please try to find a resource to help you. And thanks for watching my channel. I haven't really I don't have any subscribers yet, but hopefully I will. And like I said, this is therapeutic for me. So I enjoy doing this. If there's anybody out there listening, I appreciate it. I'm not looking to, thinking I'm going to make a career on YouTube doing this. Like I said, this is just awesome therapy for me. And if you enjoyed it or you want to chat, please comment down below. I try to comment back to everybody. I do have another YouTube channel called Lojo, and I comment. I only have a couple of subscribers, but I comment. So if you're going to comment, I will respond back. If you want to tell me your story, if you feel comfortable, if you don't, I understand. But tell me what you think and any other ideas you have for this channel. Do you like these kind of therapeutic truth type of mukbang cheat days? Let me know what you think. This is what this is all about, getting the feedback. So for now, I'm going to reach over to shut off my camera, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.